Super hot today in New York City. Really nice way to start the weekend. Today's class is core control class. Obviously in Pilates you're always activating your whole core. I wanted to make sure we really engage and activate our deepest layer of our muscles today. So there are probably going to be more reps in today's class. I'm trying to slow things down and really so we can really feel the burn. Today's class, as always, is a charity class. If you have the means to donate and if you would like to, I am donating all funds raised to Save the Children. They have a COVID response fund to help children that are in poverty or the refugee children that don't necessarily have the means to be in a safe place at the moment. So anything that you can do to donate would be much appreciated. You can Venmo me. My Venmo is I am Tiffany Low. Or you can also donate directly to them. I'll put a badge on my IGTV and you can donate directly there. Otherwise, today all you need is a mat. Hopefully you can hear me over the music. I don't think it's too loud. All you need is a mat. I've padded my mat because the ground is pretty hard. We don't need any weights or any equipment today, so let's get going, shall we? So let's just come down lying on the mat to start with. Your legs will be in a mountaintop position. Nice neutral back. In order to find neutral, just make sure you put your thumbs on your hip bones and slide them down to make a triangle on your pubic bone. Should be a nice flat surface and you should have space underneath your low back just for a tiny little blueberry. So let's just start here. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes. Let's just take some breaths here. Go ahead and place your hands on top of your belly. Take a big inhale. And on your exhale, I want you to really breathe away from your hands. Really draw that belly button in towards spine. Your hands will remain where they are in space. But it's almost like your belly button, your belly is pulling away from the hands about 1 millimeter. And then as you breathe in, I want you to really keep that belly button pulled in. Try to breathe laterally from left to right side. Really finding that co-contraction. We want to keep this sensation for the rest of the class today. Pulling those abs away from your fingertips. Breathing from left to right rib and really just sinking your back deeper into the mat. Really feeling yourself in this moment. Sending that breath down into your back ribs, into the floor. Keeping that tailbone nice and heavy. Let's take 2 more big breaths like this. Last one. Before we start to add those pelvic tucks in. On your exhale, let's go ahead and imprint that low back into that mat, tucking that pubic bone towards your face. And then on your inhale, release back to neutral. Just slowly turning on those lower abs here. Keep that breath work going. We're going to use our core, our abs a lot today, so I just want to get you nice and warmed up. Let's go for 3. And 2. Last one. Find yourself back in neutral. A little space with that belly button. Go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your head. Keep your head nice and heavy. Your elbows should be in your peripheral vision, and you want to keep your scapula right, your shoulder blades right on top of your rib cage, your elbows in your peripheral vision. From here, let's just go and do a basic nod and curl. So nod yourself out, and then bring it back down. You want to imagine there's a peach underneath your chin. You're holding the peach between your chin and your chest. Just nice and slowly guide yourself up, but you don't want to push down too tight towards your chin. So you don't want to squish the peach. You just want to hold it there, climbing up, elevating off the tip of your shoulder blades. Keep those ribs nice and knitted in as you come on up. Let's go for 8 at your own pace. Those feet planted firmly into the floor. Remember to keep that head nice and heavy in your hands. Your hands are supporting that neck. We have 5. And 4. Try to curl up even higher each time. Last 2. 1. Let's pulse up here. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring everything down. We're going to go into some knee curls now. So go ahead and bring your hands down to your thighs. This movement we want to initiate from our head and then use the abs to pull us up. You don't want to use the momentum. So go ahead and nod from the chest and then slowly walk those hands up those thighs to touch your knees and then come back down. So come on up. Using those abs to curl up and then come back down. And you might not necessarily touch your knees, that's okay. You can just walk those hands up the thighs. Whatever your range of motion is today, it's totally fine. Big inhale, and on your exhale, nod into chest. Curl on up. Try to keep this out of your neck if possible. Keep those ribs drawn in. Let's go for 6. Last 4. This is 3. Last 2. Final 1. Whew, I always find that one pretty difficult. Now go ahead and place your hands back behind your head, interlacing those fingertips. Let's raise one leg at the tabletop, and then the other leg at the tabletop. We're going to go into some toe taps here. Go ahead and flex those feet. You have the option to remain curled up, or you can come on down with your head on the floor. If you're curled up, make sure you're curled up to the tip of your shoulder blades. Go ahead and bring this right leg down, the right heel touch the floor, and come on up. You want to maintain that neutral spine, hips nice and level, belly button drawn in towards spine. If your heel doesn't come up to touch the floor, that's totally fine. Just whatever your range of motion is today. Keep that foot nice and flexed. And if you're curled up, see if you can curl up 1 inch higher. Just working those low abs. Squeezing that core nice and tight. Let's go for 7 on each side. And 6. We have 4. Curl up even higher if you can. Last 2. I'm feeling it. Last 1. Now let's go ahead and glue those legs together. Knees together, finding even pressure coming in from both knees. Flex to those feet, and let's go for those double toe taps. So both feet come down. This one's going to be harder. More of a balance challenge too, to keep those hips nice and level. Let's go for 8. 7. 6. Final 2. And last one. We have one more variation here. So keeping your both legs in tabletop, ribs nice and knitted in, belly button drawn towards spine. Let's curl up 1 inch higher. Now you can point to those toes, bring that right leg down towards the floor, but make sure you keep that neutral spine. So it could be this low or your leg might be higher, whatever is available to you, and bring it in. Just for some single leg stretches, bring that leg down, point to that toe, finding length. Keep alternating sides. You should be quite warm by now. Nothing else moves, just that leg that's coming down, finding that hip differentiation. Lowering and lifting. Let's go for 4 more on each side. Curl up even higher if possible. Working those upper and lower abs. Final 2. Last one. You know what's next? We're going to do the double leg stretch. So both legs come down, whew, and then both legs come in. We have 7 and 6. 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Oh my gosh, good job. Bring those knees in, bring that head down, hug the knees, rock from side to side. I'm all warmed up, I hope you are too. Let's come on to our side. We're going to get some side work here. So bottom leg is going to be in tabletop position. Top leg is going to be right on top of it. We're going to find that nice side lift. So making sure you're pressed into that forearm, finding that waist lifted. We're just going to open up into some clamshells to find the external rotation here. So keeping the feet together, just opening that leg up and closing. Opening and closing. And as you do this, I really want you to make sure you're keeping those hips nice and stacked. Your shoulder is stacked over the elbow. Make those necessary adjustments if you need to. Your hand can be on your hip, driving that hip away from that bottom rib. You can hold onto the floor for more support, or if you want, you can bring your hand up to the ceiling. Keep that belly button always drawn in towards that spine. Let's go for 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg open and it's just pulse back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now let's come on up. You're going to come on and go into a hip side plank. So let's come on up with your both feet stacked on one top of the other, or one can be in front of the other to give yourself more support. If they're stacked, let's just go ahead and lower those hips an inch and lift an inch. Lower an inch and lift. For 8, 7, really pressing to that forearm. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Staying where you are. We're just going to go straight into some cat-cows here. So we're going to initiate the cat-cow from your tailbone today. So finding that nice flat back, belly button drawn in towards spine. Make sure your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders and your knees are directly underneath your hips. So what we want to do is initiate from the tailbone. Let's just go ahead and tuck that tailbone under, rolling that pubic bone towards your face, rolling up through the spine, initiating bone by bone. Head is the last thing to gaze towards the knees. Then you want to initiate from the head into that cow position. So then your head will slowly come up, looking towards the ceiling, curl through that spine, and then your butt pointing those sits bones towards the back wall. So same thing, tucking that tailbone under, initiating and rolling through the spine bone by bone, and then head will gaze towards those thighs. Keep that belly button drawn in. Keep this position. Head will move first. The rest of the body will follow. Let's do this one more time. Nice. Now let's go ahead and find that nice neutral spine. We're going to get some bird dog here. So lift that right arm and left leg back at the same time, finding that opposition. Finding length through your tip of your fingers, through the point of your toes. Bring everything down. Let's go ahead and find the other side. So just keep going at your own pace. Finding the opposition, keeping that weight in the supporting arm and supporting leg. Belly button always drawn in. I want you to imagine there's a tray on your back with your favorite beverage, and you're trying to keep that tray nice and level on those hips without spilling anything. And if this is like pretty good for you today and you want something extra, you can go into an advanced bird dog by tucking those toes under, hovering that knee off, but make sure you want to keep yourself nice and level. Let's go for 5 more, whichever option you're doing. We have 4. Last 3. 2. Final one here. Good job. Bring both knees down. Now we're going to try something new, which I did in one of my Pilates instructors, Talise, in her class yesterday. It was super fun. Let's go ahead, keeping the weight in both hands in the ground. Extend that right leg back behind you. Twist that hip open, really pressing into the shin of the supporting leg. The right hand will come up, and you'll open everything out. Nice and slow. So now your hips are shining towards the wall to your right. Keep those ribs drawn in. Then bring the arm back down. Your hips will come back to shine towards the floor. Bring that knee down. Let's do this one more time, just to do it together. Leg extend back behind you, point with the toe. Draw those abs in to really help control that core. Bring the arm up, open everything out. So find that external rotation. Bring that palm down to the floor. Twist everything back, hips shine towards the ground. If this is too much with that lever load, you can always keep that twisting right leg bent. So you could always do this. Just decreases the lever load a little bit more. So you have more support here. So you're just kind of opening up into that fire hydrant, that clamshell. So whichever option you decide to take, let's just do 3 more. Open up that hip, press through the supporting arm and that shin. Bring it down. Last 2. And it's okay if you fall. You should have seen me yesterday. Last one. Really good. We're going to go straight over to the other side. So same thing, whichever variation you did, or you can try another variation that's different on each side. So left leg extends back, open that hip up, press through that shin, bring that hand back down to the floor, hips come back to shine towards the mat. Leg out. Hips stacked and shining towards that back wall now. This one definitely takes practice. And it's never about speed, it's all about control. Let's go for 3 more. Last 2. Final 1. So nice. Good job, everyone. Now we're going to go into that side lying work on this side now. So come back up down to that forearm. Bottom leg is going to be in that tabletop position. Top leg's on top. We're just going to go open up into those clamshells. So opening up that fire hydrant. Keeping those hips nice and square, nice and stacked. Really pressing to the forearm, lifting through that waist. Let's go for 6. Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Let's just pulse that leg back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we're going to find those hip dips and that side plank. So really lift yourself up and just lower those hips an inch and lift. Lower and lift. For 8. Press into that forearm. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and 1. So nice. Bring everything down. Let's come up to kneeling. So kneeling right in the center of your mat. Finding legs from the tip of your crown. You want to be nice and tall. Go ahead and bring this left leg out to the side, tucking that tailbone under so your butt is as far forward as possible. Go ahead and bring your hands interlacing behind your head. And we're just going to find some lateral flexion. So it's kind of like a side bend. You want to find diagonal line from your foot all the way down to your head. And then come back up. Making sure your knee is comfortable on the floor, nice and parallel. Just lean over as far as you can. And come on up. Nice and slow with intention. Keep those ribs really drawn in. If this is too much with your hands intertwined behind your back, you can always bring them in front of you like this. This might help a little bit more. Otherwise, let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Let's just pulse up and down. For 5, 4, 3. Use those obliques. 2, and 1. So from here, bring this hand down onto the floor. We're just going to find a side crunch. So hand comes behind your head. Let's just crunch elbow to knee and out. Elbow to knee and out. Let's go for 7. And 6. 5. 4. Belly button engaged. 3. 2. Last 1. Come back up to kneeling. We're just going to find some hip hinge here. So from this position, just lower your butt so it's hovering over your heels. Keeping that lower back protected by drawing that belly button in towards your spine. Just hinge forward and come back up. Tucking that tailbone under as you come up. And up. If you want more load, go ahead and bring your hands up to shadow your face. Let's go for 5 and 4. Really engage that booty as you come on up. 3, 2, 1. Let's hold here and just pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Come on up. We're going to do that lateral flexion on the other side now. So go ahead and bring that right leg out to the edge of your mat. Make sure your knee is nice and comfortable and parallel. However you did it before, your hands are entwined behind your back or in front of your chest. Let's go ahead and do that now. So twisting over this way now. Whew. And again, it might feel different on each side. Really press through the ball of your feet. Let's go for 4. Really tucking the tailbone under. Last 2. Final 1. Hold here, pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that left hand down to the floor. We're going to go for those side crunches. So right hand behind your neck. Just crunch the elbow to knee. Let's go for 7, 6. And you don't want to hyperextend that elbow. So let's just keep a soft bend to the supporting arm on the ground. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. We're going to come up to standing now. Class has just breezed by. So coming up to standing, let's go ahead and find your feet about hip width distance apart. Finding length through your head, reach those arms up towards the ceiling, and then we're just going to twist over to touch those toes. Rainbow up, around, and then touch the other side. Keeping that belly button always drawn in towards your spine. Rainbow over to touch the feet, and the other side. Just working those obliques even more. And if this is too much, you can always keep a soft bend of the knees. Just have 2 more on each side. Last one to the left. And last one to the right. Make sure you're nice and even. Come back up. Open those legs out a little bit more, just wider than hip width distance. Keep them nice and parallel. We're going to find a squat. Just your basic squat. Make sure your feet are tracking over, your knees are tracking over your second and third toe, belly button drawn in as you hinge forward. And then come on up, engage that booty. So I'm going to twist this way so you can see. Keep that weight in your heels. And then come on up. Really engage that booty, tucking that tailbone under as you come up to standing. It's almost like you're trying to sit down in a chair. And if you want more load, go ahead and bring those arms to goalpost your face again. Let's go for 4. And 3. 2. On 1, let's hold here. Lift that right heel up and bring it back down. Left heel up and bring it back down. Try to sink deeper into that squat. Keep alternating heels. Let's do 3 more on each side. Keep those ribs knitting in. 2. Last one. Let's go ahead and raise that right heel and left heel. And then articulate through both feet so you come back down to your feet. Shift that weight into your heels. And then come out onto the balls of your feet again. And then shift the weight into your heels. We're just articulating through your feet. Sinking that weight into those heels each time. Let's go for 5. You should feel those quads burning. 4, 3, sink deeper into that squat, 2, last one, friends. Slowly come on up. We just have one plank series and you're out of here. So slowly come on down. Again, keeping your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Legs will come up to hip width distance apart. Keep that weight in your arms and shoulders, belly button joint in. Bring that right knee to right elbow. Twist the left elbow and bring it back. Other side, left knee, left elbow, twist to the right and bring it back. Keep those hips low. We're just going to go for 8 on each side. 7. Keep that breath work. We have 5. 4. Keep that neck nice and long. 3. 2. Last one. Sit those knees down. Come into a quick child's pose. Take 2 big breaths here. Then we're back into it. So coming up into the high plank again. We're going to find those hip dips. So bring those knees and legs close together. Hip dip, left, rainbow over to the right. Rainbow to the left, rainbow to the right. Let's go for 2 more times on each side. Last one. The next time your left hip is dipped towards the ground, I want you to pike those hips up, kind of like a downward dog, but your body is still twisted. And bring it back. So you're piking those hips up into the air, coming onto those tippy toes as you pike up, and then shifting the weight back over to your shoulders into that high plank. But keep that body twisted. And if it's available to you today and you want to lift that top leg up into an arabesque, feel free to do that and then bring it down as you come to that plank. Let's go for 3. 2. Open up that hip. Last one before we go to the other side. Rainbow that hip over. We're just going to do this on the other side. So pike yourself up, belly button draws in. Shift that weight to your elbows and your shoulders. And up and down. And you want to keep a soft bend in the elbows because you don't want to hyperextend them. If you lifted that top leg on the other side, go ahead and do that now. Let's just go for 3. Last 2. Last one. Bring your hips back to center. Let's just hold for 10. Tuck that tailbone under. 9, 8, belly button drawn in. 7, 6, 5, 4. You can do anything for 3 seconds. 2 seconds. And last one. Bring those knees down. We're going to go straight to some stretches here. So keeping yourself on those knees, just open that arm up towards the ceiling, gaze towards that palm, thread that under, and just bring your whole shoulder, right shoulder down, and twist over so your butt's in the air, or your right shoulder's in the ground. Keep that breath work going, sending that breath into your back. Let's come back up and do that on the other side. So left arm opens up to the ceiling, gaze towards that palm, thread that needle, and then just go ahead and lie on down. here we're going to get some mermaid, just to stretch out those obliques. We worked a lot today. So left leg is going to be an external rotation, right leg is going to be internal rotation towards the ground. Come down to your forearm, stretch it over, stretching out that right oblique. Stretch over to the other side. Let's unravel and do the mermaid on the other side. So right shin will be on the edge of the mat. Left leg will be internally rotated. Come down to that forearm. Twist through this side. Twist through to the other side. Let's slowly come to standing. Keep your head heavy. Let's bring that left hand onto that right hip and just twist yourself up towards the ceiling again. And your hand can wrap around your back if that's accessible to you. Just finding that nice side twist. Keeping a soft bend in those knees. Let's unravel and do the other side. So right hand to left hip, left hand to ceiling. Twist to look. And then go ahead and wrap that left hand around the back of your body. Unravel. Let's go ahead and pedal through the feet. And slowly restack the vertebrae, bone by bone. The head will be the last thing that comes on up. Hands come on up towards the ceiling. Circle them around. And my friends, you are done for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am hot and sweaty. I hope you are too. If you have any questions, please let me know. That was a core control class. I hope you really feel activated and everything is nice and engaged. Today's class, as always, is a free charity class. If you would like to donate, I'm raising donations for Save the Children for their coronavirus response fund. You can Venmo me, I am Tiffany Lowe, or you could also, I'll post it on my story and there will be a badge where you can donate directly. Again, have a great day, be safe, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you, friends. Bye.